Hello everybody, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Evelyn. If you don't know me yet, I'm a functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner, and today I would like to talk to you about the small intestine and things like bloating, IBS, and also something called SIBO. So the small intestine is that bit of our bowels that comes immediately after the stomach. So this is how it goes. You eat something, it goes through your esophagus, it comes into your stomach. There it's been worked on by the mechanical breakdown, but also by the stomach acid, and then it comes into your small intestine. And I don't know why they call it small intestine. It may be because it's thinner than the large intestine, but it's actually in surface it's much bigger. And small intestine is a really important part of our digestive system, because what happens in the small intestine is that this is the place where the bowel receives partially digested things that come out of the stomach, breaks it down further and absorbs it. So that's the main part of digestion happens there, digestion and absorption. And so we want that to work well, because if it doesn't work well, we don't get the nutrients and we get a whole host of problems. So the large intestine has a very different function. This is where we want lots of bacteria that ferment or break down any fiber that we couldn't break down in the small intestine. Those bacteria produce some nutrients, but it's not a lot anymore. And then from the large intestine, it's basically eliminating waste. So the small intestine is where, most of the digestion happens, and also in the small intestine has a lot of our immune system in there. So that's it's a really important part. And so the large intestine, as I said, has a lot of bacteria, and the small intestine should have not so many bacteria. Well, some, but not a lot. And what can sometimes happen is that we get an overgrowth of the bacteria in the small intestine. And then we have something on our hands that is called SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And so the bacteria there are usually not pathogenic. They're normal gut bacteria. They're only in the wrong place. And what happens then if we eat the fiber that those bacteria love? They ferment it, which they should, and they create gas. And the small intestine is really sensitive. It has a lot of nerve tissue, so it can create pain and also bloating. You don't want that gas in the small intestine. So that's then a problem, and that can result in many symptoms. So bloating after a meal is one. If I see that in a client, I think, we could have SIBO here. And then things like pain, but also brain fog, skin issues, and very often also either diarrhea or constipation, or a mixture of the two. And that depends a bit on the kind of bacteria that are in the small intestine. So what would we do if I have a client coming with those bloating, typical SIBO, IBS kind of complaints? I want to do a breath test with them. So the breath test can test if there is SIBO and which sort of bacteria cause it. And then we take it from there with a diet that lessens symptoms, and then also use antimicrobial herbs to kill off the excess bacteria. Now this sounds all very nice and straightforward, but SIBO is actually not so easy to treat. It can work well, but it can also work well for some time and then come back. And one of the reasons that it can come back is that you have to find out why the SIBO, or the overgrowth of bacteria, was happening to start with. What was causing it? Because you can kill the bacteria, but if you don't take away what has caused it, then it will happen again. And some things that might have caused SIBO are sometimes it's operations, sometimes it can be thyroid problems, it can be diet, it can be what was the other one? I'm blanking now. Well, different causes. You have to find out which cause. Oh yeah, of course, the acid blocking medication and other medications sometimes too, like steroids. So yes, I think that's one of the things I can add as somebody who works functionally. When I'm not just looking at, okay, we do a diet and then we kill, but we're really looking at like what has happened in somebody's life and what could have caused this to happen. And then also treat that. So there's the layer of you treat the symptoms, there's the layer of you treat the bacteria, but under that there's also the treating the underlying cause. And yeah, together with that, I've seen a lot of people feel better. I've studied quite a lot in this SIBO domain. Because it's a really, it's something we see more and more. Quite a lot of people who are diagnosed with IBS actually have SIBO. So yeah, if you think you have these kind of issues and the bloating, and you're wondering if you might have SIBO or have any questions, let me know in the comments, and yeah, we can chat and see where we go from there. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day, and let me know any questions in the comment. Okay, bye now.